Christian Schraft, why did you agree to take the job here at Havells-Sylvania?
Havells-Sylvania offers a unique platform for further growth and for winning in an industry that is, as we all know, in disruptive change.
So what are your first priorities in the role?
Well, I believe there are two main areas of activity. One is we see the industry moving from components to systems and solutions. We see the industry moving from traditional technologies towards LED solid-state lighting technologies. So quite obviously, it's now important to position the company in that field of new technologies, new business models. So that's one priority. The second priority is very clearly to make sure we have a stable and consistent environment in the company, that we are being perceived as a reliable partner, and that we are building trust with all of our stakeholders, customers, employees, and of course shareholders.
So are the troubles over at Sylvania now?
I would believe so. There has been quite some volatility in the business in the past, and very clearly, as I said, now the order of the day is stability. It is consistency in how we communicate and in what we're doing strategically with our customers every day, and about trust.
Anil Gupta has talked about returning to higher margins of 7-8%. You talked about getting the growth. Where will that growth come from?
Well, there is two main elements. As I said, a very lean structure. We're lean, we're aggressive, we are entrepreneurial in our spirit, and that will help. And then it's a continuous development of the product portfolio towards high margin products, managing the mix, and of course managing the cost. It is important to be well positioned and well placed in the fixture business, developing that into intelligent lighting, controls, and so forth. It is not a priority to be a player upstream on the component side.
So how would you characterize Havells-Sylvania's strategy compared to the big three of Philips, GE and Osram?
Well, the first thing to remember is that Havells-Sylvania is uniquely well positioned in that it's one of the very few players that do lamps and fixtures. There's only a handful of people who do both sides. And that setup will help us developing the competencies needed for a more solutions-driven business, being closer to the application and being closer to customers. For that purpose, the main focus of the activities will be more downstream, which means on the fixture side, on the control side, rather than on the pure component side.
Europe has been less important to Havells-Sylvania in the sense that it was 70% some 5 years ago. It's down to just above 50%. Are we going to continue to see that decline in Europe's influence in terms of the Havells-Sylvania mix, or will you see it stabilize?
Well, first of all, I would not look at it as a de-emphasis. Rather, other regions as marketplaces have been growing faster than Europe. So it's a natural shift in weight that has occurred. But yes, of course, in the past few years, given the market circumstances, emphasis for Havells-Sylvania has been more on profit than on growth in Europe. From that, we can now start to regain more speed in growth and in penetrating markets further. So the strategy would now slightly shift to more growth, stronger penetration of markets, stronger penetration of the SSL market specifically, as opposed to just looking at increasing profit levels in those difficult times back, financial crisis and after.
What products can we expect at Light and Build at Frankfurt in April?
Well, we will have innovation in all our areas of activity, some on the lamp side, certainly on the fixture side, and most importantly on the control side.
I mean, a lot of your competitors have, either acquired or they've grown organically controls businesses. And there's a lot of independent controls businesses. You guys are a little bit late to the game. I mean, is that something that you is a priority to correct?
It is something that we will correct going forward. We have an approach to that, which is mostly built on partnerships, and we believe that this can work.
Philips, our latest results, the first quarter results show that they are doing 34% of their sales is now LEDs. What's the Havells-Sylvania figure?
Well, the number is lower for the simple reason that both Philips and Osram show all of the component sales under this 35 and 33 for Osram percentage number. So there's a huge business with LED components that we don't do.
Looking at the industry transition to LEDs, in terms of the applications and the product mix and the timing, has that worked out as you expected?
We're seeing some segments being penetrated very aggressively with SSL. Some of our product ranges and lines are now well above 50% penetration here, and others are still under 10. So I would say it's broadly speaking in line with the expectations. It's hard for an LED system to compete against a traditional T5 system, which is very good in terms of lifetime, which is very good in terms of energy saving and also controllability. On the other hand, you look at street lighting, for example, you look at spotlighting and these areas, LED penetration is already much further and will continue to grow.
And when do you see a tipping point in offices, commercial applications?
Offices is probably, in terms of tipping point, where we'd say penetration of 50%, something like 3 years away.
Really?
What will still be true in 10 years from now is that, and actually truer than today, that the sales landscape, specifically on the fixture side, on the system side, will still be a fairly complicated world. For me, this means that some of those very big commodity players entering the market will probably stop at the level of components. So I look at these companies more as suppliers than competitors. And at the same time, for our own positioning, we were positioning ourselves more in that space of fixtures, luminaires, controls, solutions, working closely with the customer, find the right solution for the customer, and hence generate value. The component battle will not be our battle.